Fighting Championship. Alex Martinez 0-1. One fight into his pro career. Looking to get his first pro win here. Fighting out of the lab. Seen a few fighters from these guys on the card today. These guys love to travel in groups, and we love having them in groups. A little Houston on Houston violence earlier tonight. Alex Martinez, hometown of Chicago, Illinois. Making his final preparations here at 155 to step into the cage. Looks like he's clear to go. Let's meet his opponent.
Please welcome to the red corner, Arlton Ardrey.
Arlton Ardrey making his way to the cage, 1-0.
Another guy with just a pace on him is Arlton Ardrey. Fought Noah Elledge, a great prospect in his debut, was able to get the TKO win. I mean, Arlton he just fights at a crazy pace. I was swore he was a collegiate wrestler. I talked to him. He's like, no, I never wrestled. I played football. And I was like, oh, he's like country boy strong.
Yeah.
And man, he fights he's always so much fun to watch.
He looks like a guy that if you saw him on TV, he could be a fighter, he could be a convict, he could be a cop, he could be a military special operative. One of those guys just has that look for TV.
Absolutely. A tremendous match here too. Same age, same weight, same height, same reach. I'd be surprised if we saw a similar pace, but I mean, that's what these pros are to do. See who's style, who's pacing, who's athleticism, who's stronger.
Yeah, we talked to Michael Aswell. He came and sat down with us for a little while, and man, what a performance from Lloyd David, his teammate.
Yeah.
And you know, Aswell coming back. It was supposed to be back on the May card, but coming back June 22nd, he said, to defend that title.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
He's actually challenging for the title.
Yeah.
I know, because Cameron's my guy, and he's the champ.
Yeah,
that's a rematch. Cool, you get the fighters in the cage. Let's get this fight going.
The following contest, brought to you by OnlyFans, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC lightweight division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, and he weighed in officially at 155.6 pounds. Fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, by way of Chicago, Illinois, tonight. He seeks his first win as a pro. Here is Alex El Gallo Martinez. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, and he weighed in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, he holds a professional record of 1 win, no losses. This is Arlton Ardrey. Your referee in charge of the action, Jeff Rexroad.
Alex Martinez, Arlton Ardrey. Fighting out of the lab in Phoenix, Arizona. No shortage of high-level training partners at the lab.
Nice. Arlton's always had good striking, but I'll tell you, his movement is looking sharp. This is a skill set of his we've not quite seen a lot. A nice little body lock drag down there from Martinez. Arlton looking to build a base and get up without exposing his back and on the neck, but those can be really hard to set up from an existing guard sitting up on a ghillie.
Alex looking like his plan was to slow the pace here right off the bat. probably very familiar with that pace that Arlton Ardrey is used to. And Alex, I was going to ask you this at the last event, and it slipped my mind, but you know, the training at a gym like yours, like the Lab, like 4 Ounce Fight Club that we talked about earlier, like, you know, like Metro Fight Club, not only the training partners, the reputation of the gym, but how important is it for fight IQ to have that high-level guys whenever it comes to these guys on the regional show?
I mean, yeah, like, you know, making the decision in the cage is solely up to the fighter, but when you have proper guidance, I mean, that really does play a significant factor. And then you need a fighter who can listen. So, like, best case scenario, you have a fighter who can just make the right choice on their own, having high fight IQ, and then you can certainly be like a supplemental assistance to that. Now, every once in a while, I'll catch a guy who just doesn't listen and makes the wrong choice. but I mean, you know, you got a full scope there. But especially like if you're going pro, you need to be coachable. You need to listen inside the cage. And, and both guys actually seem to be doing a good job, you know, doing what they can to either stay ahead or get ahead. But, you know, Mike, you can sit here and relate with me. We sit here and we listen to a lot of corners. And we hear great corners, which in this case, both teams super established. And then we hear some not so great corners.
Yeah.
And
that's being nice, Alex.
Yeah, yeah. It's if the cornerman's doing their job properly, you almost don't even notice. It's when they do it bad and you notice, that's when it's an issue. And, and
we've heard some over here where it was their uncle or something that was coaching them that had never fought. But for the most part, most of the gyms, most of the representatives that are fighting that have fighters on these cards, most of them, we're seeing it less and less, is my point, is that we're seeing the bad cornering, the bad coaching, we're seeing that less and less. It's very, very competitive here at Fury Fighting Championship.
I'd say Martinez is just content with grinding him out in the guard as Arlton's looking to unlock his legs to post up. This is the first real play we've seen Martinez, you know, go to try to advance position as he kind of steps into half guard, but he's got a wrist ride. But Arlton's moving just enough to where Martinez can't quite uncork some punches because he'll just straight up lose position. Arlton with a crafty reversal attempt. Squares back up. Man, Martinez is just all over him.
Yeah, wrestling heavy first round in here for Alex Martinez. And really hasn't thrown a ton of punches. He's just really trying to wear down Arlton Ardrey, it looks like. Keep this positional dominance. And just, you know, when this is all there is, you don't have a choice but to score it by that.
Yeah, nice little half-guard sweep off the cage from Arlton.
But he's in trouble now.
Yeah, he is. Arlton is really trying to get that second hook in. And he's fighting the choke.
Yeah, a pissed off Arlton Ardrey on your back is not a good problem to have.
No, I mean, he really turned it around. And see, this is interesting because Martinez had, you know, what, 4 minutes of control time.
Yeah.
But Arlton, if he does damage, and he's known for doing damage in these positions, he could win this round strictly on just the output. You know, is 1 minute of back riding and ground and pound more valuable 4 minutes in the guard? And honestly, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is too. And it's proven that they've shown that they're changing the direction of the judging, and it's leaning really, really hard toward damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice, good little left hand under the bottom there from Arlton. Arlton not dejected at all how the first part of this round started as he finished super strong. I think he won this round.
Yeah,
like,
I think so too.
If there was a strike count, it'd be probably 25 to Arlton to maybe 5 of Martinez. And it's not like Martinez was just choosing to not punch. He was grabbing Arlton. You could see Arlton's hips constantly switching, his hands constantly posting. If Martinez had let go to punch, Arlton just would have straight up gotten up.
Yeah.
And despite his best efforts to control him, Arlton still hit a sweep, you know what I mean? So he's not an easy man to hold down in the absolute slightest. So we'll see what kind of adjustments, you know, both fighters make coming into round 2, because Martinez just hit like an early kind of body lock drag down early in round 1. Arlton finally found that sweep, you know, changed the tide and really got to work with about 1 minute and 15 seconds he had left. Arlton will keep the same pace. I've seen him fight like an absolute madman in round 1. I'm like, oh, he's going to gas. And then he doesn't gas. Round 5 comes around for these amateur championship fights. The pace is, if anything, higher. So he's just an enthusiastic fighter who's got strong athleticism and a great technical game. So, I mean.
Yeah, man, very similar. We've seen Adam V. Hill use that kind of style where, we thought he carries so much muscle, he's going to gas. Oof. And, in round 5, he's just as effective as he was in round 1.
That was a interesting little knee lift from Arlton after he missed that fight. I'm sorry, after he missed that kick. Oh, big right hand. Arlton was just on him.
Man, and what a violent crash that was.
Yeah, ran at him. I hope Arlton's knee's not compromised. He threw a kick and then picked his knee up in such a way. It's usually like when knee injuries happen, they kind of pick it up to assess the damage, but I mean, maybe it was nothing. Yeah, he covered a little too much distance too quick. Martinez took advantage of it.
Let's see if Martinez can get some damage done here because, just like in the first round, it's very similar. Decent control here, but not getting to positions where he's able to throw any punches and do any damage. And he may be setting up something. He may have something that he likes, maybe that head and arm choke from that position or something that he's really trying hard to set it up, and, Arlton's just ahead of it a little bit.
You see this heavy chest-to-chest pressure. You see that in the high-level no-gi submission-only jiu-jitsu. It's just once you go chest-to-chest, you just keep it. And then you can usually beat the lower body with the lower body pretty easily if you just don't allow their frames or their hips to move much. Yeah, Arlton kind of using that right hand to frame on the hip. Yeah, if you can flatten the hips, you can usually flatten the shoulders, and we're seeing Martinez use that kind of ground tactic here.
Arlton tried that roll again. Actually put him in a little bit worse position here for that time. Got a crossface on the head, and he's got the opposite side in half guard.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised the ref's not warning him to stay a little more active.
Ardrey goes into full guard here. And 2 minutes left. I'd like to see Ardrey just open that guard and try to use that to get up. He's going to scoot toward the cage, use the cage to get up. Martinez trying to trap that arm, but not an effective position from the guard position.
Yeah, that'd be hard hit. I'll tell you, I know Damon Jackson fought in the UFC for a lot of times. He actually had a pretty good in-your guard head and arm choke.
Yeah.
I've seen him pull it off a couple times, but it's a pretty hard one to get.
Man, there's always that one person that you teach the fundamentals against this one thing, and they do it anyways.
Yep.
And kind of just throw it for that day in class. It throws your whole, it throws the whole technique out.
Damon Jackson, the leech. I mean, he had maybe 15, 16 pro submission wins. He really was an ace on the ground.
Yeah, what was the guy that did the Ezekiel choke from the bottom?
Yeah, Alexei Olenek,
yeah.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
Oh, Arlton just swinging everything and every punch. See, like that. See, this is interesting. Did that one combo from Arlton equal the same value of the 3 minutes of control time from Martinez?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're gonna have the same scenario. A minute left, Arlton takes over, if he does the more damage, who wins that round? That's 2 rounds in a row we've had this.
Yeah.
So far, if it finishes like this.
You know, they say you go to control time and position dominance when no damage is done. but Arlton still threw more this round. When he was in bottom guard, he was throwing some elbows. And don't get me wrong, I love some strong wrestling and top control time as much as anyone. But it's got to come with either submission attempts or ground and pound. And we've just not quite seen that out of Martinez, despite having really good takedowns in top position. I think that round was a little harder to score than one. That really could be kind of like a preferential style. But yeah, I think if you're Arlton's coach, you say, hey, like, I like that you're trying to hit him, but stop running after him, because he's countering with double legs.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine a scenario where it's a bad thing to close the distance too fast. And so, and this is just one of those where closing the distance is kind of working against Arlton Ardrey here. And you're right, I feel like if he steps back a little bit or makes him get back to his feet, I mean, he's having the better exchanges once they get there.
Yeah, and Arlton loves throwing those big, monstrous rear uppercuts. If anything, make Martinez come to him. Try to catch him maybe on a shot.
Yeah, and even though those knees are effective, you know, for a guy coming in on, you know, shooting, also if you miss time it a little bit earlier or a little bit late, I mean, you're basically taken down. That's just the free ticket to takedown. So throw those hands, throw an uppercut in there, maybe instead of the knee, and just, you know, try to keep this as much upright as you possibly can. Seems to be the path to victory for Ardrey.
Yeah, one thing I got to shout out is Arlton Ardrey's shorts. I like the Texas flag shorts. Those are cool.
Yeah, really cool shorts.
I'm not sure if I've seen those before.
Yeah, they're custom made, obviously. He got his name around the waistband and everything.
Arlton was just trying to be physical. He almost tried to like head and arm throw him.
Yeah, and you got to wonder what Ardrey's corner told him, if they think he needs a finish here to win this, or if they think he just needs the round.
Yeah.
And of course we know he wants a finish and he wants to finish this fight, but man, just so far it's shown to be very difficult to beat Martinez in the position game.
Yeah, Martinez has been relentless. Arlton Ardrey in on a Kimura, but you see Martinez grabbing his leg and then stepping his own leg over his arm.
Yeah, with those Kimuras, man, the secret to those Kimuras, guys, listen to me. Take your chest to their elbow. Don't try to pull their elbow to your chest. You do that and use your core to pull that out from their body. It leaves them, it's very, very difficult for them to defend.
A little half back here from Martinez. So this has been some of the better grappling we've seen Martinez. He's throwing some ground and pound. He's trying to advance to the back. He's got a nice little wrist right on that left side.
Yeah, he's got that leg lace there on the top leg, making it very difficult for him to turn his hips over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only way he can go, and then it goes right into the game that Martinez has been playing, where this control position, trying to smother. Looks like he's trying to get his head on the other side of that arm. Looks like he likes the head and arm choke.
Yeah.
But Ardrey knows that. Very savvy to that defense, just not allowing it to get too far. The temptation might be, man, I'm really good at defending those, and I can let him go a little further so that I can create a little space and then beat him to the punch. And, you know, man, it just doesn't happen.
Arlton on a Kimura of his own.
Yeah, see if he'll scoot his hips out, get his chest down closer to that elbow.
Man, when you find a guy like Alex Martinez, and they're known for just double-legging you, sitting in your guard, grinding you out, they have so many reps in the gym of fighting off Kimuras and guillotines and triangles that, like, no one's impervious to the submission, but they're so comfortable troubleshooting, defending it. And both Kimuras that Arlton threatened on bottom, Martinez was super hip to, and he had him pretty much out of position as early as he could have. He does progress to full mount here. We'll see if maybe Martinez hooks that left leg of his under Arlton's leg and takes full mount. And he does. I heard someone in the crowd yelling, stand him up. That's not going to happen now.
Yeah, yeah, not in this position.
It's like this is where the game plan of Martinez actually starts to pay off. If he wants to head and arm choke him, this is the position to do it.
Yeah, that. Hey, he didn't really go for it, so it must not be a head and arm he's looking for either. He's just looking for the control time.
Yeah.
Looking like he wants to grind out a win. I mean, and you know, maybe this isn't the way Alex Martinez fights all the time. Maybe it's just Arlton Ardrey, you have to fight this way because of that pace.
Yeah.
Because he has slowed him down, I mean, almost to nothing. He's in the first 2 rounds, the last minute, Arlton has been, you know, effective based off those reversals or sweeps.
Yeah.
And it's just been it's been like this for Alex Martinez since from bell to bell so far.
Yeah, I'd say pretty confidently Arlton took round 1. Round 2, I think, really was a flip of a coin. It just depends on what these judges are looking for. And then round 3 has been all Alex Martinez. As we saw some submission attempts, some ground and pound, but especially like dominant position dominance. You know, he just kept his chest super low here in this mount. You can't generate as much power, but you do maintain position, which he has. We actually don't see mounts being stuck for this long often in MMA.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you've got to, you know you're going to take a little bit of damage, but you got to sell out to get out. You got to use your arms on the hips, knowing you're going to take a couple shots. You got to time the explosion to minimize those shots and you know, Martinez has done a great job of making that very difficult. And I like what he does. I mean, he keeps the elbows above the shoulders. It makes the arms weaker.
Yeah.
Very difficult to get out of that position.
It's a good, valuable 15 minutes for both of these young professionals. I mean, Martinez certainly takes 3. And then 1 and 2, depending on what the judges are looking for, kind of up in the air. I think Arlton really did. The last minute was so offensive from Arlton in round 1.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty safe to put some money that he takes 1. And then 2, he had a little offensive swing there at the end, but he did get ridden out a little bit more in round 2. So I think it comes down to how the judges scored 2.
And that's the part that, you know, the crowd and the fans have the hardest time with is when you see someone on the bottom for 8 of 10 minutes, it's really difficult to say that they won. It's difficult to make that make sense in your mind, but that's the way the judging criteria works. And, you know, if you went in there and held me down for 10 minutes and I, you know, finished with a flurry that cut you open with 10 seconds left, I mean, that's a losing round.
Go back and watch Derek Lewis versus Roy Nelson. Roy holds him on the cage for 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Derek Lewis lands 1 monster uppercut, and he wins the round. He wins the fight. It was awesome. All right, let's see how the judges scored this one. Here's Wayne.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of combat, we go to the judges' scorecards. 28, Martinez. Judge Ricardo Delgado scores the fight 29-28, Ardrey. And Judge Ramsey Ishak scores the fight 29-28, declaring your winner by split decision, Alex El Cayo Martinez.
Yeah, Alex Martinez with a split decision win. Congratulations to him. It really was round 2. That had to have been the split round.
Yeah.
He takes the win home.
Yeah, Alex Martinez getting the job done, and like I said, that was a game plan win. And bravo for it. Wasn't the most exciting fight, but that's a game plan win, man. That's just a style, fighting a style to win.
Hey, you don't fight Arlton by going head on with him.
No.
You'll come out of the raw end of that deal. All right.